Hi, I'm Aaliyah. I love to make things with 3D printing, and I'm going to show you how you can 3D print too. I can't wait to show you some of the things I've been working on. But first, let's make sure we all know what 3D printing is. 3D printing is the process of taking a design that exists only in a digital file and creating that design as a three-dimensional solid object. With 3D printing, if you dream it, you can make it. You can design all kinds of things, from toys, instruments, and jewelry, to really cool and valuable things like prosthetic limbs and replacement parts for machines, including cars and airplanes. Whether 3D printing is used for work or for play, this technology has had a major impact on our world. Our military was one of the earliest adopters. Now, they're using 3D printing on a regular basis to be able to quickly fix equipment on land vehicles, personal devices, and even on submarines. 3D printing changes the way we think about solving problems. Just in the past year, I've created so many of my own designs to solve problems that I had. For example, my dad kept tripping over my backpack, so I designed a hook to hang it on after school. Now, I don't get in trouble for leaving my backpack on the floor. I also wanted to be able to watch videos on my phone while doing other things, so I designed a phone holder. Now, I can prop my phone up safely and my hands are free. And most recently, I even created a tiny new leg for my computer keyboard when it broke. 3D printing really encourages all of us to think about ways we can solve challenges, and it's also good for the environment. Designing and printing that one small piece saved me from having to buy a new keyboard. How awesome is that? 3D printing is not a new technology, but you may be hearing about it a lot lately. The materials used to print 3D designs are now cheaper and easier to find, and the printers themselves are much more affordable as well, especially for student and home use. Let's take a look at how it all works. The type of 3D printing that you will probably use is done through a process called material extrusion. And what this means is that the objects are created from material that has been heated as it comes out of the nozzle of the printer. Then, as the object is printed, it solidifies and holds shape because the material hardens as it cools. Materials used in 3D printing can vary greatly. Not all printers can print all materials. However, for the printers that are usually found in classrooms and homes, the most common materials used are plastic, carbon fiber, and nylon. But remember when we talked about some of the things made for the medical field, like prosthetic limbs? Some specialized 3D printers can even print skin cells and stem cells and proteins to grow organs. How cool is that? 3D printing is an additive manufacturing process. This means that things are created as the machine deposits layer by layer of material to build up an object. A 3D printer must move in 3 dimensions to create 3D objects. To do this, it prints on the X, Y, and Z axes. A regular printer prints horizontally on the X and Y axes, but a 3D printer also prints vertically. That's called the Z axis. Since additive manufacturing uses only the material that's needed to print an object layer by layer, there is less waste too. Pretty neat, huh? Did you know that America Makes, the developers of this training, work with our government and the Department of Defense? Together, they research and innovate in additive manufacturing and training to keep our nation competitive in manufacturing. You can imagine that since each layer has to build upon the previous layer, this process takes time. So, in general, you would not want to use 3D printing for mass production. To give an example, the phone holder I created took almost 7 hours to print. But it's important to know that you can print things that help with mass production, like the die that is used to make the mold of the rubber on your shoe. Just remember, the larger the object you design, the longer it will take to print. But don't let that discourage you. Remember, if you dream it, you can build it. 3D printers are safe to run overnight, so you can often wake up in the morning and hold your idea in your hand. Even cars have been printed using 3D printing. As long as you have a large enough build plate, you can design big. I bet you're thinking right now, what's a build plate? Let me show you. 3D printers have 5 main parts: the filament spool, the feed, the print head, the build plate, and the digital display. Click each part to learn what it does. Now that we've learned about how a 3D printer works and looked at some of the many cool and impactful things that can be created, what do you think are some reasons why someone would want to use 3D printing? Be sure to select all the correct answers before you click Submit. The next few modules will be dedicated to showing you how to design for 3D printing. You design for 3D printing using any computer-aided design modeling software. We call it CAD for short. If you're already familiar with the CAD program, please continue to use the one you're comfortable with as we go through the rest of these modules. I'll be using a program called Tinkercad. If you're a beginner like me, it's best that you start out using this program too, but you can use a different program if you're already using something else. We'll check that out in the next module as we get ready to create a new design. Are you ready to design your own 3D project? See you in the next module.